Okay, we're going to start our Linux tutorial. We're going to have some fun here. Um, I know we were using Ubuntu earlier. In case you didn't have a Linux machine and you wanted to have a Linux machine, I showed you how to do it in earlier sections, how to basically install a virtual box, and then install Ubuntu, and then install VLC, and then how to use your new Linux box so that you didn't have to worry about, overpaying for software or wherever have you. Okay, but we're gonna do this Linux command line, a few commands. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do clear. Okay, we're gonna go back and we're gonna list. That's command one. Okay, see I have a file B, a file C, a file D, a file E, and some last commands with a mylog.txt. So I want to delete a file. So to delete a file, you type in rm and then you do the mylog. Okay. Now, see, the thing is I didn't want to type the log.txt. So when I was on the when I typed the y, I just pressed the tab key. Oops, I mean caps. I just pressed the tab key and it finished the word for me. So I'm going to remove that. Okay, let's do a ls again, which means list the files. And notice the mylog is no longer there. The last commands, let's list this last commands. Let's see. There it goes. It just listed last commands. Because what did I ask for? I asked for just that file. I wanted you to tell me if that file was in a directory, and it sure enough did. So if you ls and then put the file name, and if it exists, it's going to show you which directory. So let me clear this. That's another command. I want to make a directory, which means make a folder. I'm just going to call it folder A. Okay, so now I made a folder. Okay, but I want to go into that folder, so I say cd, and then I do folder A, and now I'm in that folder. Let me do a ls, nothing's in that folder, but I want to make a file in that folder, so I do touch, and I do file A. Okay, but here's the thing, I don't want to lose what's inside my file A, so I'm going to copy my file A to a file B. Now, if I do a list now, I'm going to have a file A and a file B. Let's see. There it is, file A and file B. But I don't like the way they're listed horizontally. It's a hard read. I'd rather have them listed vertically. So to list them vertically, I do la. And there you go. I can see all the files included, including the hidden files. Now, we've talked about copying a file. We've talked about touching. Oh, I don't think. Yeah, we talked about copying a file, touching a file, but we haven't removed a file. Let's remove file B. Bye bye. So if I did up arrow key, I get to get that command that was typed in 2 commands ago, and boom, now I can see file A. But let's say I wanted to see all of the commands I've typed out since I began like this whole session. So I typed this word history. All right. Now, see, the thing is I can't read all of these commands. This is ridiculous. Who wants to read all those commands? Not I. But let's say I just need the last 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's just say I wanted those. So I would do history, right? And by putting this greater than sign, I'm basically saying whatever is supposed to go, whatever's supposed to go into the screen, I want you to put it into a file instead. So we're going to call that file a file instead dot text. Okay? And then I want you to, which means and, like I want you to do a separate command when you use a semicolon. So it's like me saying and I want you to tail, right, a file, okay, instead dot text. Now watch what happens. Boom. So I only got the the last 10 commands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's what tail means. So if I were to just show you real slowly, tail a file instead, it's going to do the same thing. But if I wanted to do 2 commands on one line, you just got to use a semicolon like that. So let's see. We've covered list, we've covered touch, we've covered copy, we've covered remove, we've covered clear, we've covered history, but I owe you 1, 2, 3, 4. I owe you 4 more commands. So here's another command. Let's say I didn't want to see the top line at 543. So I would do sed, and then I would do S, and I do 3 of these. 1, 2, 3. Then I do a G, and I do another one just like that. But I don't want that top line there. I want this to go bye-bye. And I just want to see from lines 544 on down. So I'm going to put this right here. And what that does, what that does is that basically says to the computer, exclude, substitute 543ls with nothing globally. Let's see. Oops, I forgot to put the name. And we're calling it a file. Oops. Oh, let me close this because it's bad. Let me just read your type of command. A file instead. Okay? I just want to see it all without that. So as you see, when I did that first command, it didn't do what I asked you to do because, well, it did do what I told it to do, but we ended up with a longer list. But you see 502 says CP. Let's see. Tail a file instead. Let's see my command. Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to do tail a file. A file instead, and then pipe it to sed right there. Let's see if this will work. Be a little bit more shorter list. Let's see. Still too long. Let's see. If we tail it still does a long list. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to tail, which means give me the last 10 lines. Give me the last 10 lines of this. And then I want you to move it into B file instead dot text. Okay, right? And then after you move it into B file instead, I want to sed substitute 1, 2, 3 G. Okay, and I'm going to put what I want you to substitute from that into nothing. And that means that see, if you notice 543 was missing there earlier. See? But I don't want to make a long list. I want a short list for us this time, ladies and gentlemen. And then I'm going to hit enter. Let's see. Oh, I forgot the file. Hold on. Got to put the file name. Oops. The file instead. There we go. Notice 543 is missing. But we're supposed to have 10 files, remember? So let's count them. Blank line, 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the sed command. So we've covered, and we're going to get rid of this whole sed 543. We're just going to look at this real quick. And we've covered all of that, but let me just do the last of our history. So tail history. Oops. Tail into 1, 2, 3. ABC. Okay. So we're going to do history. We'll go into this, and we're going to tail 1, 2, 3, A, B, C, and that should give us the last 10 lines. Perfect. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alrighty. That should pretty much conclude for today's lesson. Linux is really powerful. Here's a good scenario that I like to give you. Suppose you had a bunch of picture files and you wanted all of those files to be looked at and made sure that you didn't have the exact same picture file that was the exact same everywhere, because you didn't want to have duplicates. You didn't want to have 100 of the same picture when really you only need one, and you're not like wasting all your space. So Linux is capable of doing that. We're going to try to show that in later chapters, but for now, I just want to get you familiar with, the copy, the remove, the list, and how to edit a file, and the whole nine. I encourage you to play this video back at least 3 or 4 times, and then move on to the next lesson. Thank you.